Sure, you're like me and you don't like it when people are critical of you because they're skeptical of the things that you're saying and therefore they don't believe you. Jesus found himself in that environment many, many times. People who were very skeptical of everything that he had to say, and they refused to believe what he had to say. Yet it's always a blessing for you and me, and obviously for Jesus, when people are open-minded enough to listen. And then because they listen, they evaluate the evidence, they evaluate what you're saying, they evaluate what Jesus was saying, and they reach a better conclusion. That's exactly the situation we find in John chapter 8. Jesus has been talking with some of his enemies, yet they are refusing to believe him, but there's some people in the group who are open-minded enough to listen and reach a better conclusion. In fact, in John 8 verse 30, it says, as he spoke these words, many believed in him. The text further tells us that Jesus went on to say to those Jews who believed in him, if you, talking to them, if you abide in my word, you are my disciples indeed, and you shall know the truth, and the truth shall set you free. Now, there are two or three important words that we need to think about for a moment there. First of all, Jesus says that if you abide in my word, not just give it a casual glance, not just give it a look with a preconceived idea, or not just thinking about it based on what other people have filled your mind with, but you abide. You camp out there, you move in there, and you abide, and then my word. You have to abide in the word of Jesus. We find many things offered in our world today to abide in, to hear, to read, to listen to, but Jesus says what we must abide in is his word. Then Jesus says, if you do that, you are my disciples indeed. It's a certain thing. And then he further reinforces this by reminding them and telling us that we will know the truth, and the truth will set us free. Notice Jesus says two things in that statement. First of all, he says there is a such thing as truth. The world doesn't really say that. In fact, the world says the only absolute is there are no absolutes. There is no truth. If you believe in an absolute truth, then you're intolerant, you're too rigid, you're too closed-minded. But Jesus says there is a such thing as truth. And then he says, you can know it. You can learn it. You can hear it. You can learn it. You can believe it. It's discernible and distinguishable by the human mind. You can know it, and it will set you free. And then Jesus says when you do that by abiding in his word, and knows how he equates his word and truth as synonymous with one another, you will be his disciple.